Hi, it's Miss Chivers. This lesson is on 2D and 3D shapes, and after this lesson students should know how to identify those shapes by counting their sides, edges, and vertices. You should have a pencil and paper with you, and you'll want to print out the assignment that comes with this video. And if you have the 3D block set that came with your online school curriculum, you'll probably want to get that out so that you can get a better idea of these three-dimensional shapes. Before we go any farther, let's make sure we know what this word means, dimension. When we say three-dimensional shapes or two-dimensional shapes, what does that really mean? Well, dimension is a measurement of the length in one direction. So on this box it has a measurement of its length, its width, and another one for its height. So each one of these is a dimension: the length, the width, and the height. A three-dimensional figure has three measurements, three things to measure. A two-dimensional figure is flat. It only has two things to measure: length and width. One type of shape that's two-dimensional is called a polygon, and that is a flat shape made of straight lines. All the lines have to connect for it to be a polygon. So here's a polygon. Notice it has straight sides and they're all connected. Now this one's not a polygon. It has two straight sides, or three, but then it has this curve. So that means it can't be a polygon, but it's still a two-dimensional flat shape. Now this shape, it has straight sides, but it's not closed. Okay, it's got a big open place here, so that's not a polygon. It has to be closed, it has to be straight, and it has to have straight sides. You probably already know the names of several polygons. We name polygons based on their sides, the number of sides that they have. So let's see, a shape with 1, 2, 3 sides, you're probably thinking that's a triangle, and you're right. And I have a picture of a tricycle here because that word tri that's at the very beginning, that can help you remember how many sides a shape has. So tri is for triangle. It has 3 sides, and tri means 3. So there's 3 wheels on a tricycle. So that can remind you that a triangle has 3 sides. Now a quadrilateral, quad, has 4 sides. So you can think of those kind of motorcycles that have 4 wheels. They're called quads. Okay, and it's a shape with 4 sides. Then there's a pentagon. Pentagon. Penta means 5. And if you look at the shape of a pentagon, it sort of looks like a little tent, doesn't it? Here's the sides, and here's the floor, and here's the roof, or maybe a little house. So that's why I put this picture here to remind you pentagon is a 5-sided figure. Kind of looks like a house or a tent. Hexagon, hex, H-E-X. Now that means a 6-sided figure. Okay, now the way I remember that is the X, because the word 6 has an X in it, and so does hexagon. So hexagon means a shape with 6 sides. Alright, and the next one here is octagon. Octagon, I put an octopus there, and if you know anything about octopus, you know that they have 8 legs. An octagon has 8 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides. Octagon. So here's a chance for you to see if you can decide which ones of these are polygons. So you can pause the video and maybe draw some pictures on your paper and write yes or no. Do you think that's a polygon or not a polygon on each one of these shapes? And then once you have that done, you can press play on the video again and we'll check our answers. Okay? So go ahead and pause now. Here's the answers. What did you get? A circle. Is that a polygon? No, it's not in the polygon family because it's got curved sides. It's actually called an ellipse. Okay, it's a type of an ellipse, so it's a different sort of a two-dimensional shape, a circle. All right, what about this one? It has straight sides. It's closed, so it must be a polygon. Yes is the answer for this one. How about this one? It's got a flat bottom and then it's got a curved top. So no, that can't be a polygon. We know they have to have straight sides. How about this one? The sides are straight, but it's got that open place at the top. So remember, they have to be closed. So no, this is not a polygon. What about this shape? It's got straight sides and it's all closed. There's no big openings. So yes, that's a polygon. And maybe you recognize this. I bet you remembered the name too. Pentagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. It looks like a little house or a tent. That's a polygon. Straight sides, and it's closed. Now the two-dimensional shapes, we looked at their sides. We looked to see if they were straight and closed. And each one of the sides has a length. So each shape would have a length and a width. But that's all they have. Now let's take a look at three-dimensional shapes, or sometimes they're called three-dimensional solids. And those are shapes that have length, width, and height. Okay, they're not flat. And if you have the block set, you can take that out now and take a look at some of those shapes. They're not flat. They have edges, faces, and vertices. So let's see what those are. An edge is where two of the faces come together. So here you can see an edge on this rectangular prism, and a face, that's the flat part. And now the last word here, vertices, or if there's only one, you would say vertex. Now what that is a little point where all the edges come together. So that's like a corner. So this shape has a vertex there. This shape has vertexes on every place where all the edges come together. Okay? So there could be a lot of vertices on a shape. So that's how we classify three-dimensional solids, by their edges, faces, and vertices. Let's take a look at some more. Here's a cube. It's got 6 faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. If you have a cube in your block set, get it out and take a look at it. And if you don't have the block set, do you have a box nearby you? Is there a box or something that is sort of like a box or a shape of a box? You can take a look at it because it will have faces. Okay, those are all the flat places. It will have edges. It'll have 12 edges. Okay, that's where the sides come together. And it will have vertices. That's where all the edges come together and make little points on the sides, on the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vertices. Take some time now to look at these other shapes and see how many edges and vertices they have and faces. Now the round shapes like a sphere, they don't have faces. They have curved surfaces. So to be a face, it has to be a flat surface. So cylinders, cones, and spheres, they don't have all faces on them. They might have some curved surfaces. Take a look at these and pause the video for a minute while you look at them and match them up to the blocks that you have, and then when you're ready to go on, press play again. Now it's your turn. How many edges do these figures have? How many faces? And how many vertices? Get your piece of paper and try to draw the figure on for each one, and then right next to it write how many edges does it have, count them up, how many faces, count them up and write it down, and how many vertices, write that down too. Do that for each one of these shapes, and when you're all done, you can press play and you'll see the answers. So pause the video now and press play when you're ready to go on. Well, here's the answers. How did you do? This is a cube. It has 12 edges, 6 faces, and 8 vertices. This is a sphere. It has 0 edges, 0 faces, and 0 vertices. This is a cone. It has 0 edges. It has 1 face on the bottom, 1 vertex on the top. This is a cylinder. It's got 2 faces, 1 on the top and 1 on the bottom, but it has 0 edges. These are curved, so they can't be edges. It has 0 vertices. Okay, and this is not a face because it's curved. And this, a rectangular pyramid, has 8 edges, 5 faces, and 5 vertices. Why does it have 5 vertices? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that's different from the cone. It only has 1 because its bottom is a circle, so there's no vertices there. But this one has some on the bottom too. Okay, it's time for you to do your assignment. You can go ahead and print out the assignment page that is linked with this video. You should see the link right underneath the video window there. And when you're finished, you can send it to your math intervention teacher for makeup class credit. That's the end of this lesson. Complete your assignment and make sure to send it to your teacher so that you can get credit for taking this class. Have a great day. Bye-bye.